for me, but I'm also excited because, you know, Ms. Laredo has been helping me quite a bit with Texas Time Up, right?
It's Time Texas.
It's Time Texas, so her and I have come into this and we're like, what do we do? So, but we're learning and we're excited. Before we begin, I guess we're gonna just introduce ourselves, right? I think I have on the next slide, Mr. Phillips, Mr. Flores. Some of the district representatives that are here today, of course, Mrs. De Casas, our food service director, Ms. Laredo, our family and community involvement, Ms. Campos, she's out, she's in Corpus Christi. She took the girls to cross country competition and they got second place. So she's excited about that. We've got Mr. Jose Lara, he's in the counseling, he'll be representing us. Counseling, Ms. Sarah Salivar, our health services. Everybody knows Ms. Sarah. And then Mr. Verduzco, I told him he didn't have to attend for today because he was the principal, but we'll be talking. I told him next month you will. And then of course, our Mr. Flores over here, our Executive Director of Curriculum Instruction. Our principals, they will be coming in whenever things have to be addressed, but we do have one here present, Ms. Christy Jimenez. We have community representatives, but they're on their way. They just text me. Then we have families. We have San Houston Elementary, Albert Garcia. Thank you, Mr. Garcia. Claricia Aboyetes, or she's here? No? And Veronica Aleman. Ms. Aleman, I saw her. C.E. Bell, Eloisa de la Cruz. Ms. Alma Martinez. She's also our school board member, trustee. Jessica Cespedes, she's not here today. Oh, and then I put Ms. Alma Martinez again. Then we have Sanchez Elementary, Stephanie Bauer, she's not here. Desiree Trevino, and Ms. Delma Vera. Thank you, Ms. Delma. Then we have Veronica Lara, Geneva Harner, and Crystal Guajardo. No? Sandy Gutierrez, Veronica Trevino, and Raquel Vasquez. I misspelled that one.
That's okay.
I had you down as somebody else, as Rocky. Sorry. And then Maria Ana Lee Navarro, Sonia Rios, and Leona Henderson. And then La Feria Academy, Lori Young, but I hear that she will not be able to be attending because the meetings are in the evening. So welcome everybody. So you're probably saying, what is SHAC? If you've never sat in this meeting before, you're wondering, what is SHAC? Well, SHAC, the vision statement for SHAC is that all students at LFISD will reach their full personal health and academic potential. Several years ago, they pushed this. It wasn't just for academics, but for health. And are you all hot? Yes? Is this it, sir? Oh, hold on to your hats. Hold on. Okay, mission statement. The mission of the LFISD SHAC is to ensure that all students in LFISD grades pre-K through 12 will have healthy bodies and minds through sequential health education practices and modeling of good healthy behaviors. So our purpose here is, what are we doing with the district to promote health awareness, healthy minds, healthy bodies. So this is why we have certain people from the district here representing what we're doing in the district, and we also want to take your considerations as well. Of course, the goal of La Feria is to advise La Feria decision makers regarding students' needs and assessments related to health knowledge and skills, regarding policies and procedures that impact student health, and regarding the health of the school environment. Okay, before we start, we need nominations. So I'm the chairperson, but I need someone to assist me. And pretty much a person that is outside of our community, a parent that is willing to work with me side by side and getting things going. If for whatever reason I get COVID or I get the flu, maybe you would have to call and we have to reschedule our meeting, or we would have to, or you will conduct it for us. But I need if somebody want to nominate somebody for vice chairman. I just threw that out, Joe. First thing. Anybody? Just working side by side. I can do it. You will? Okay, Ms. Vasquez? Anybody else? Anybody else? All in favor for Ms. Vasquez? Aye. Okay. And the secretary to take down minutes. Anybody? Secretary?
Does it have to be from outside the newspaper?
Yes. A parent? Ms. Alaman? Okay, good. So us three, Ms. Vasquez, Ms. Alaman, and I, are going to work together. Ms. Alaman, you're going to take down minutes of everything that we go through, and I'll show you, and I'll give you a format, so it can be a lot easier for you. Okay? So thank you so much, ladies. So let's get on to business. So we have our bylaws, and I just really want to go over how the bylaws for SHAC work. We can click. So pretty much, we do have laws and regulations. We have statute and policy. But I do want to look at article number 3. Mr. What is it? You can go down a little bit. I want to share with you that. Okay, go up.
Sorry.
Okay, right there. According to the state law, because this is a requirement, the SHAC will have the following responsibilities. We have to hold regular meetings. Now the law says 4 regular meetings throughout the year. But what is one thing after COVID that you have seen that we are in need of here in our schools? Our students. Interaction, mental health. We need a lot of mental health. So we as you all community members, you all as parents that are out there, outside, and see what we need, you all are going to be the voice for us to push mental health. Also, health of the food, our cafeteria food. What suggestions can you give to us, to Mrs. Casas, to help promote better eating? Okay? And the physical. What kind of physical activities do we do throughout the day? So we have to increase all of that, and that's our goal, for you all to help us, guide us and give us ideas, because you all are out there, to give us ideas on how we can continue to promote that. We also want recommendations. The board approved all of you all. I took all your names to the board, and they had a list, and they reviewed it, and they approved you all to come and assist us with this SHAC program, okay? So what we're going to focus in is health education, physical, nutrition, parental and community, very important with Ms. Laredo, Mrs. Casas and Mrs. Salazar as well, school health services, counseling with Mr. Lara, and safe and healthy school environment. A big thing after what happened with the Uvalde is safety. So next month, we're going to talk about some of the safety things that are happening in our school. We've had town meetings with our superintendent. We've had different meetings to discuss what is happening. Now you all are going to know what we're actually doing in the classroom or in the campus. Okay? And then also, one of the things that we're so excited that Ms. Laredo has been pushing is letter H, school employee wellness. We all talk about the students, but we forget about the employees. That every day, and the stress that they're put in. So on Wednesdays, one of the initiatives with our superintendent was after 5:30, everything in the district shuts down. From football practice, basketball practice, everything. Nothing happens. And at what time, ma'am? At 4:30?
At 4:45.
At 4:45, you have an exercising program for the community and for staff to go in and just let out some stress. From Zumba to walking to HIIT. Right? Yes, we talk about that. I don't want to, yeah. So we're also working on that, and then we have some people as well that will be talking to you today about what we're doing to help our employees. Because remember, our students need our services, but our employees as well. Okay? we're done with that one. Those are the bylaws. Go on. Go back to your slideshow. Right there. And then click.
Click on.
No, not there. Let's click enter. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So the first thing that we're going to do is November Diabetes Month. As y'all know, Rio Grande Valley is has a high number of people with diabetes. So we as a community, we as school district want to promote diabetes because we're seeing also a lot of juvenile diabetes. So what are some things that we can do in the school district to promote diabetes? November Diabetes Month. November 14th is Diabetic Awareness. Everybody has somebody in their family, right, that's diabetic, unfortunately. If not, that's awesome. But what do you all recommend?
Is there any way to get, like the high school, don't we have a culinary arts program where they can cook like, or like recipes that are sugar-free?
Yes, yes. They can not only, they can probably cook, bake them, but they can also display them on the web, on healthy eating and, you know, things that go with the recipes. If we can go on to the next one, sir. Parental involvement. Ms. Laredo, you have been doing, without even knowing that it was probably diabetes, a lot of promotion on healthy eating, right? So let's go further. What can we do to promote that healthy eating? For our community, for our parents,
and we can also have like maybe like after school at the high school, like a walk for diabetes, and maybe promoting like different recipes, or have like people to be out there checking their sugar levels and stuff.
oh, I like that idea. Do y'all like that? A walk?
I know one year Sam Houston did because my boys run they did like a 5K or some kind of K, and they had like different vendors, and they were in the lobby area, I believe, and it was for healthy eating.
It was like a wellness fair.
Yeah, it was a
It was very
It was
nice.
really good, and they involved the kids, the families, and they had shirts and trophies and stuff. It was pretty good.
Is this something that we would like to promote in our district? Would yes?
If that's
A walk?
something that will be good in the high school because with the community, porque if you do it like in one school, a lot of people go like, okay, pues it is either too far or I don't know, but my kids don't go to that school, they don't go there. It will be better like somewhere where it's either in
The high school.
park or in the park or in the high school.
Okay. So is that something that we would like to promote? Okay, so Diabetes Month for November. Also health services, Ms. Would you like some kind of screening on that day? Or I know you have clinics and you promote that within the staff. And maybe we can do something like that during the walk?
Yeah, we can get, even like Valley Baptist can come out and they can check sugars and do checks like that. We can do BMI and, you know, whatever anyone's comfortable, you know, doing.
Yes, sir.
What about if we maybe provide the students with like a take-home flyer with recipes on there? I know kids like to be in the kitchen.
Yes.
Something easy, simple, you know, take it home and hey mom, hey dad, whoever, you know.
Yes.
Use at school.
Like a fact sheet. Not only in 1 week could be a fact sheet, the next day could be the cookie, healthy eating recipes, and they can be posted throughout the day. Healthy snacks.
I know that, like I saw in one of the Brownsville schools that I've gone to, they have a periodic table of sugar, and it has different examples of how much sugar is in each plate of things, like cookies. It has a whole bunch of, I took pictures of it, but it has a whole bunch of just how much sugar is in each little food that we all
Like
use.
a can, like a can of Coke, how much sugar it
Yes,
has?
like it has just like I said, honey, how much does the cereal have? It has 12 grams of sugar. For 1 cup, 120 calories. They have all those different sugary foods that we eat, so I don't know if we can like.
So that's a good
research.
demonstration for us to have throughout the school. We can set up a table and at the cafeteria maybe, I can talk to principals or have a meeting we have a meeting with them this Wednesday, right, Mr. Flores, and we can talk to them about, those kind of activities. I know food service in the classes, her and I spent practically the whole day today. We talked about some things. One of the things that we told her she could do was, if she wanted to, was like, every kid gets a blue sticker and on their plate, which is a good, healthy meal, what is it, not meal, what is it, ma'am?
We said like what item would help you with diabetes or is good to eat for diabetes.
And then she would have little prizes and things like that. And then at the end of the month, you would do blue Jello.
I think on Diabetes Day. Which is
Diabetes Day.
Yes,
The
14th. The 14th. So we'll have blue Jello with fruit.
Just for diabetes awareness. But those are things, are we into this? Do y'all want to do it? Do y'all want to help us promote it?
Can we, like to raise money, like competing against like each campus or just to see who gets more money, maybe an initiative for the students? Because I know in other schools, they do like the jump rope.
Oh, the jump hard.
Yes, or for, what is the one we do in April? The cancer, the one that we
The autism, I know we do autism in April.
Yeah, no, the cancer one, the one that we're doing.
Oh, the cancer.
No, I said that in April. They used to do it, we did it like 2 or 3 years in high school, the walk, the relay.
Okay. We can do that. I don't know the specifics, Ms. Rios, on how we can handle the money, but that's something that
Yeah, because I remember when my kids were in school, the older ones, I remember for the jumper rope, nos daban un envelope, and we were, either, ask our family members, go and ask for money to see who is, and then like during PE, they would like jump, and stay for
and for heart.
jump for heart.
And what would the funding, can I ask, would be used for? Like a scholarship or?
Awareness.
Awareness?
Yes, for the awareness, so they would send that money to the Jump of Heart Association, or for the Relay for Life, or for, the diabetes, that.
And is this just within the district, or how would you get the community involved? Like, is there something else? Is it just in the district? Like, how would you get community members that don't have kids involved in the district? And I like that her idea about the competition, maybe having like, because I know that a lot of people that even are not diabetic, but go through diets, what they fall off the wagon is because of the taste. Because they're like, let me just get something quick, or go to the drive-through and get whatever. So is there something like we can do where it's a little competition where, they get to taste different plates, or a baked good that has, it's, carrot cake or something like that?
I have a suggestion. So usually community-wise, it would be just an idea to have maybe like a resource fair to provide like different points of information. So from the food that they can eat to the education that they're receiving, like a whole bunch of different healthy, nutritional resources that the community can have. We can schedule something, date, time, and have multiple vendors from different areas. I know one place, they had like keto donuts, and I was like, oh my gosh, these are delicious.
Something like that.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought? So like maybe doing something like that. Just an idea of
fresh.
I know several people that make those keto donuts and then the shakes, smoothies, so we can reach out to them as well.
So like the schools, maybe during the lunch hour, they can pull over maybe 5-10 minutes and have like a blindfolded taste test.
Yeah.
Like how they did that in the 80s with the Pepsi and the Coke. The blind, maybe just something that, keep your kids entertained or something different.
Yes, Ms. Casas was talking about having some kind of activity during the lunch hour for them, targeting diabetes as well. Okay, so we're good into that. We'll check into the fundraiser type thing. The other community, okay, Ms. Morales brought up a suggestion, ma'am. Y'all are.
I'm Maria Duran, I'm a community health worker for the city of La Feria. When we offer the free exercise classes to the community at the rec center and throughout the city. And I also work together with Nidia, and she's from Everlight. She has a because since we're like trying to target our kids and teach our kids also how to cook healthier and stuff, my programming is more for like 18 and above for parents and stuff, but she has like this great programming for kids where she can come into a classroom by grade level, 3 different grade levels, and I mean, she can tell you all about that one because I think that would be a great idea.
Good afternoon, my name is Nidia Garcia. I'm the extension agent for the Better Living for Texas program with Texas A&M AgriLab Extension Service. And I just started together with Ms. Duran and Ms. Moreno doing the parent nutrition classes. So we have wellness Wednesdays. At 3 different elementaries, we're offering 3 different nutrition programs, with one being a gardening. But I also do provide nutrition education for youth. I do have a nutrition education program for kindergarteners, so those 3 to 5-year-olds. I either have nutrition programs that run from 9 weeks to, or just one-time presentations. If you would like for me to go in per elementary during and doing a nutrition presentation for them, I can do a recipe demonstration as well. I mean, we provide everything from the program. We have prizes also for them to promote wellness as well as physical activity, nutrition, healthy eating, and all that good stuff just for them just to learn. So we're available. Our program is free to any of your schools.
So
The training that would be good, like also for an after school program, because I know a lot of other school districts, they do have a lot of after school programs that my nieces and my nephews go, and they enjoy the gardening, they enjoy the food and everything, but I think it would be good for like an after school program, you know.
I know we have a daycare type of program where we target and having the kids finish their homework, and then we could like work on that kind of activity. But I like your suggestions for the walk and for what Miss Moraida, is that correct? Moraida, yes, suggested, and then of course Ms. Rios and Nancy, we can work with Ms. Duran and Ms. Garcia so that we can promote that and maybe schedule something in the classrooms during the PE time or during some kind of library time or something, right? Yeah, so you and I can work on that and work with the principals on that. Do you have any questions on this? I'm excited about November. We can do something. We can showcase that we are a community, school, and outside working together for the health and wellness of our students and staff, as well as our community. So I like this. So we're going to start seeing that throughout the district. So if you see people, start promoting it, and then I'll send you texts or I'll send you messages or emails of what we're going to be doing. Okay? Do you have any questions on this?
Maybe something, you know, like now that we have those initiative days on Fridays, the kids don't go to school, some students don't go to school. Maybe do something on that day, you know, tell the
staff?
kids. Yes. For the staff, no, for the kids. For the kids.
Innovation Day.
For the innovation days, yeah, send us the thing, you know, who will be attending, you know, this is what we're gonna do. Yeah, pues, ones that have to go and study, so they go study, but like, in this case, my daughter has 2. Ahorita nada más one, her daughter's going, but not the son. So it's like, okay, what are we going to do with the other one? Y así pues los dos van a la escuela, uno está estudiando y el otro, and then yeah, they...
Another idea is to get out there in the community. I mean, it's ideas, right? We typically go walk around the track field, right? But it would be nice to, all of us have SHAC, if we're doing awareness for November, pass out those flyers and not only invite them, but us going out to the community. And as we let's say we decide to go to one particular neighborhood and actually do a walk, in that neighborhood, drop off, if it's a recipe on the back, stay healthy on the front, or just the event itself for the following month, if it's another awareness of autism or whatever, then we're doing something for that month. But just to get ourselves out there in the promoting that you mentioned.
I also like that idea. I really do.
What about if we do, a diabetes week going into that? We can have the kids wear a certain color that day, whatever color it is.
Yeah.
maybe during the schools, they can have like a competition amongst themselves, see if schools can donate, like the kid who does the most, I don't know, jumping jacks or jump rope, something. Maybe
Physical activity.
Yeah.
I think Speed, that's what they did something like that last year, pero no me acuerdo para qué mes era. And they would give us they gave the coach a paper, and they had to go home and do it with the family and do it, and then, the organization, but I don't remember what it was, but it was something that.
It was.
For diabetes.
And we'll be doing that again. We've already reached out to our coaches. Our coaches are going to receive some training, and they're going to have lesson plans and activities for them to share during PE and to send, take them home as well.
It was fun because it was something that the kids would do with the parents, and the parents had to sign in, and it would be better, like, send a little picture or send a picture to
Some
coach.
they did some kind of.
Yeah, so they could post it like in the web, maybe, if they feel comfortable, for us to send pictures to coach or to the school, so they could post it in Facebook, and, they see the image too.
So these are good activities, and we're going to be discussing with our principals and other administration as well. On Wednesday, we have a meeting, and once we have all that, we can send you an email message, check your email about all the activities that we're going to do. Nancy, we have a lot of work, but I think we'll be able to do it. I think we'll be good. Next one is Red Ribbon Week, which is this week. I just want to let you know that we get so excited about Red Ribbon Week that, about the dressing up and who the drugs, and, I called one principal this morning, I said, hey, what are you doing? Camel the drugs, and all this stuff, which is really good, and I love that, and the kids love to get dressed, but at the same time, and we'll be talking with administrators, that it's not just about getting dressed, it's about keeping the drugs out of our schools and out of our kids' hands. So we really need to really work on that, have those discussions with our students, counselors at the high school see that, talk about the drug awareness, make them be aware of what is out there. You have seen a lot of media of this certain drug that's creeping down through Texas, and we just pray that it doesn't hit our home. But we need to always, no matter if it's not Red Ribbon Week, we need to always have those conversations with our kids. So that's something that we want to talk with our principals as well, as in, hey, this is all fun, and it is fun, because you see the kids, you see those little pictures on Facebook and on Instagram, and the kids have those smiles from ear to ear. But let's not lose focus on the purpose of Red Ribbon.
I want to add something. I just personally, I feel like Red Ribbon Week it represents drugs to stay out of the school campuses, the school district, but it's beyond our borders. I feel like it's beyond the perimeter of our campus, the fence that we think, it's coming from somewhere. So I agree with Ms. Ramos that if we can reestablish the reason why we're doing the Red Ribbon Week. Because it's a crime. It's a crime, and it's a felony. We need to take it a little bit more serious. It's fine to be aware of it, bringing that awareness, but we need to collaborate with the PD to make sure that they're involved so they can be visible, so we can have that sense of security. Even though it's just a sense, but it's a reminder that they're there in case of an emergency, or they'll do what's it called, when they bring in the dogs. I know they come now and then, but it's good to have them in presence. And this is just personal experience. I don't know if you guys are aware, and this is SHAC, this is what safety is all about. There was a shooting at Whataburger, and my vehicle got shot between two individuals. And then I know that there were a couple of vehicles that were broken in during homecoming. And this is visible. This is at 5 o'clock in the afternoon when the kids that's a hot spot. That's where they have, they go get after school dinner, they go straight back to whatever after school program that they have, or they walk home. So it's obvious if you see an increase of crime, if you see an increase of something's brewing up in the community, that us as school members, as community, we should be alert. So things like the Red Ribbon Week is very crucial, it's very important. Like I do agree with Ms. Ramos, we need to be more, it's great to see, you know, getting involved. Like today was for season C though. It was yellow pillar wear respect. And then tomorrow is crazy day. But it's good to tell your kids, hey, you know, no drugs. Even if your head hurts, even if anybody gives you anything, don't take it. If it's not authorized by the nurse, it's not, you know, given by your parents, don't take it. That's it, period. So I agree with it's very important what this means.
So this is what, thank you, ma'am. This is what we're working on for this week with our school administrators. Any questions on Red Ribbon Week? No? The next thing that we have is what you've heard, maybe you've heard, but we've had EduHero. And these are required trainings that teachers have to do throughout the school year for safety reasons. Like for example, and what we did was we broke them up this year into clerical, PEMS, secretaries, and professionals. Let's look at our teachers. Our teachers, that's the second one there. Teachers, they had to do bloodborne pathogen training, bully prevention for school personnel, child, I can't read guys, maltreatment responsibilities, cybersecurity. They even did a diabetes management in schools, sexual harassment for educators, and suicide awareness and prevention, teen dating for educators from 5th grade through 12th grade, understanding the student's individual education plan for teachers that have special needs children, trauma-informed care and education, and establishing positive relationships and human trafficking awareness. When our teachers saw this list, they wanted to like shoot me because they're like, hey, all those, because it is all computer-based, and they do the video, and within like 10 minutes, they have to take a little assessment. So you can't just push forward, and then we take the test, and then we pass it. No, everybody had to do it. So we are keeping track of that. Campus administrators, they even have a little bit more than teachers. Counselors that they're training technology, everybody in the district, no matter who you are, what position you hold, you are required. Special ed had even more, and C&I had as well. Because we all interact with our students in a different manner, so we all have to be trained in that. So even food service, I had some kind of training as well. So we are always updating that, and they don't know, but in January they're going to get some more training as well. But it won't be as long as extensive. But this is what we're doing in the schools, so that we can also bring awareness, but also for safety and security, and also just make sure that our teachers are trained in how to work with our students in any kind of situation. Bloodborne pathogen, Mrs. Oliva, that is very important. When a kid goes to the nurse, to the teacher with a bloody nose, there's certain ways we have to take care of our kids and treat them, and how to take care of ourselves as well. So, you know, we just have to always be informed. So we are always updating the training policy, the trainings for our staff. From anybody that works at LFISD, custodial, maintenance, bus transportation. Sometimes Ms. Alivar will just grab a group of staff and just train them as well, and they get a certificate that they've graduated. So our teachers, our staff are fully aware of how to do that. And sometimes they need a refresher. Every year we give them a refresher. So this is EduHero. I just want to let you all know that that's what we do for our teachers. The next one is child nutrition, and here is Mrs. Casas. Would you like pass it? Oh, I had health services. Okay, who's next?
It's a health services.
I don't know.
Yeah, health services.
Health services, and so that,
I'll stand up.
okay.
So up there, you really can't see it, but just kind of some of the things we've been doing this year so far. So we had a vaccine clinics that since COVID hit, well, we've always had clinics, but especially with COVID, we worked really closely with the health department, and we had, right when it started, we had clinics for the community that would work with them. And then for this year, just for staff, we had flu and COVID clinics. We had one in August the 25th, then we had another one on September 5th for staff, and then we brought another one in October, and then we brought one just for staff, community, and students, and we did that one as well in October. So we had those clinics this year so far. And then for CPR and first aid and stop the bleed, up there it has just pretty much some of the classes we have. So you'll see, 9 staff, 28 staff, 7 staff, 7 staff. You say, well, that's not a lot. Well, when you see it like that, it doesn't look like a lot, but because some people are still certified. So these classes are continuous. It's throughout the whole year. It's always fluid. Certain people get certified. So we'll have another class coming up. We'll do one in November, then we'll do it again in January when we come back. We have like in-service days, and that's when we can really get those big groups of staff. And then we do it in July. Every July we certify the coaches. So coaches are already certified. It's not just a CPR class. They get CPR, first aid, and stop the bleed. So they don't just get how to use the AED and how to do CPR. They also, if they use a snake bite, if there's, they get swarmed by bees. It just goes over everything. So it's a more thorough training for them. So
I'm sorry, the stop the bleed is also a requirement, or we do
Yes.
just offer it to kids?
Okay, so this is just for staff. So on there also it says we're going to have a community stop the bleed. So we had one last year. We have to offer a class once a year for students from 7th to 12th grade. And I know
My son.
he went ahead and he went to the class. And so we do it we even put water in the kids' hands to kind of hold it down to kind of really get that feel of putting that pressure. So we try to make it a little bit, interactive for them. So it's always hard a lot of times to get the community to really come to these type of trainings. And I feel a lot of it before it was COVID, people were kind of worried to come out and congregate. They were very uncomfortable about it. Now, as we can see with football games, that's not so much anymore, right? So we're going to go ahead and do 2 classes. So we'll do one at the junior high, and then we'll do one at the high school. And that way we can give that opportunity. A lot of times, like Ms. Leo said, if it's not at one campus, then the kids don't go there. So if we do it in those 2 campuses, we're hoping we'll have more numbers and more. And we're going to open it up to the community as well. Because I'm hoping that if we open it up that way, then the parents will come with their kids, and maybe we'll have more numbers come in. And so we'll be trying this.
We have a training and actual substitute teachers, because I think us as substitute teachers.
Well, it's going to be in the community, so if the subs want to come in, they can. So really,
it will be good, because we also do, we're not only in the classroom, we're also sometimes coaches, sometimes we're our parents that we're outside,
So the way they set it up to learn to stop the bleed is really, it has to be someone who's going to be very comfortable with it. You can show it, but it really has to be, some people are going to faint if they see blood. There's just no way they're going to handle it. And they'll tell you that they're not comfortable at all learning it. So you kind of gauge. So if we do have a staff member who's interested, they can go to any nurse's office and ask, and we'll be more than happy to do a class with them and to show them. It doesn't take that long to show someone how to use a tourniquet. There's stop the bleed kits at every campus. The high school, of course, has more. They're by the AEDs. So we have them throughout the district. We also do state health screenings. These are mandatory screenings by the state the nurse department has to do. And so we do vision and hearing, we do spinal, and then we also do diabetes screening. So we actually do these screenings for diabetes on 1st, 3rd, 5th, and 7th grade. And we just, we do AN screenings. If the child has, darkness to the skin on the back of the neck, then we go ahead and do 2 blood pressures, a BMI, and that gets sent in. And then we get a referral that goes out to the parent. And so that way we can get that assessed. So those are all state screenings that we have to do. By the state mandates which age groups and which grade levels we do them at. Those will be turned in at the end of the year in June, but we do them throughout the year.
I have a question. Do you foresee doing CPR for the community or not yet?
CPR, that one we can't certify a community because that would take where you have to pay. So we can look into that and maybe do a smaller classes because you can only do 1 trainer to 10 individuals. So we can't just open that up a little bit. Stop the bleed, it's kind of the same, but we can kind of play with that one. With CPR, that's kind of a little bit more Yeah, if someone wants to get CPR certified, we do have some staff members that are certified to certify, and we could ask and look into that. But it would probably have to be something that you have to sign up, and then there'll be like a closed class where once they have the individuals, and that's where they would have to close it. But they do it for the students. So I know, Mr. Flores, we are doing correct, or same thing. Before a child graduates from 7th to 12th grade, they have to do like a CPR training. They don't have to get certified, but they have to have an idea of how to do CPR. And so I know we're working on how to best be able to catch certain age groups to take that class.
I have a question. Why don't we do spinal screenings for 6th grade girls? Only because they grow faster than others, and my first thing, my daughter did this massive growth spurt, and when I took it for her yearly checkup, that's when I know she had the scoliosis. I just think like that gap is really important.
So these are the grade levels that the state mandates. They're very, it's really hard to do hundreds of students. You know, we're a small department, but it's very difficult to do that many students. So we have to report those to the state. So that is actually what the state recommendations are to actually assess. So they don't recommend 6th grade, it's just 5th, because they don't go by grades, they really go by age. So to try to determine who's 10 years old and who's turning 11 is too much. So they separate it by 5th grade and 7th grade.
Maybe the district can look into it. Like I said, a lot of girls go through growth spurts, and if that being caught, you know, if you don't get it treated, it's,
Yeah,
you know.
I can ask the state and see what
The
recommendations.
district, maybe they can consider, you know, I understand the state says, you know, this and this, but maybe we can go above and beyond and say, hey, we can look into, maybe volunteer at day parents, if you're cool with this, you can screen them in 6th grade also. It's just a personal experience that I went through, and I know other parents have gone through it.
Yeah, we can look into it. I can even talk with the other house. We get on Region 1 conference calls with all the health services coordinators throughout the valley, and I can look into see if any of them are doing anything extra, any extra screenings, and see if that's something, you know, if they've had any other parents with concerns with that as well.
Thank you.
Any other questions from Ms. Soledad? Okay, next is Child Nutrition Services.
Hello, I'm Cynthia Casas. I want to go ahead and, first of all, thank you all for being here. I want to thank Ms. Ramos. Also, she's very hands-on. And I like it that she gets me more involved. And I've learned a lot from her this short time that she's been here. But we're trying to do more for the students. The first thing that we're working on doing is, if you want to click the link, I don't know if it has to it, but we are working on the application for America's Healthiest Schools. It's going to be two awards that we want to apply for, and one of them is the nutrition, and the other one is the school wellness policy. Okay, so we're working on that. It's due in April of 2023, and then I believe the awards come out like in that summer. So
Can I say something on that? You know, I was scrolling through Facebook, you know, when we don't have nothing to do. So, of course, I saw some school districts, and there was one school district in particular that got this award. I was like, hey, you know, one of the biggest, not one of the biggest, but, you know, some concern that parents always bring to Ms. Casas and my attention is the food in the cafeteria. It doesn't have enough taste, it doesn't have, or it's just, there's not enough, or my kid doesn't like this, and all stuff. So I go, well, we need to promote the child nutrition program. And so then that pops out, and I'm like, oh, Cindy, guess what we're going to be doing? We're going to revamp our food a little bit and also apply for this, because it makes you, when you look at that application, it makes you think like, hey, are we doing this? Are we not doing that? What can we do to better promote the food? We, you know, Ms. Casas can agree, and any principal can agree, and a lot of food is wasted. A lot of food. So we want to make sure that our kids are engaged in eating, you know, and that they're enjoying it, you know. So we're going to promote this. We're not looking for, we want their word, right? But that helps us improve our child nutrition program for our kids. So as we're working for that goal, we're also, the kids are benefiting from it as well. So I told her, she goes, it's a lot, and I go, but that's okay. We've got a whole year to apply.
I did say, it's a lot.
And I want to applaud you for that because for you guys to go out and look for awards for the nutrition department, besides, someone's funded, but, and we're limited on what the options we have, you have to choose, what we can, get from the companies if there's a shortage and you have to sell, I know the whole story. And so it's really great that you guys are going into something like this to help, the kids enjoy the food.
And I want to tell you that I tell her, hey, why can't you all just serve Mexican rice when you serve tacos? Like something like he goes, and she goes, well, we have to order, and I go, well, can't you just go to H-E-B and buy big bags of rice and everybody make Mexican rice? She's like, it doesn't work that way, and unfortunately.
We have to serve rice.
And
But we make it into Mexican rice, and the kids already like it, so.
Well, yeah, and so it's just like, you can't just go to H-E-B and, let's whip up this for this week. It doesn't work that way, and I thought it did. So I'm learning as well.
Yeah, she's learning, and it's a lot, but a lot of the things we're already doing. I already marked off a lot of the items that it's requiring for us to submit, and I'm like, okay, well, we're doing this. So we're gonna go ahead and get that award.
Ms. Casas, we're willing to help with whatever you guys need. We have specialists in the team who help with anything that has to do with the health and plan. So anything you guys need, definitely we can set up a meeting about this.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, back to the presentation. And then we wanted to get more involved with the students. I know the nutrition program is always like the labs, but so this year we thought about it, we're like, what thing can we have for our program? So we decided on We Nourish Champions because our kids are always winning. They're always going to the playoffs. They're always, football, tennis, and everything. And I'm not just concentrating on the teams, but every year we have a different theme. And every cafeteria staff has a sport. So at the end of the semester, we're going to make little goodie bags for those kids that went into the playoffs, for those teams that made it to, or sports that made it to the playoffs. So that's something that I wanted to let you all know as well. The next topic is the menus. So the menus are online. If you go to the LFISD webpage, there's like a menus tab. You click it and it'll take you right to our website. And you can get them from there. There's also a QR code that you can click on or download, and it'll give you the menus on your phone, so you can have the app as well. And all the schools are here, and it gives you the nutritionals, so everything's on the app. So you can just download that. And also every month we send Ada our menus, and she makes copies for the schools, and they send them out to the parents. So a lot of ways that you can get our menus. Meal options. So all of our schools have, I know with COVID it was so hard, we had limited menus, but now everything's opening up again. High school is full blown. We have the salad bar, we have like maybe 6 options. The elementaries also have an alternate entree option, except for our pre-kinder, but I'm working on also getting them an option because I know that the kids also want that option. So that we're working on the pre-kinder for the spring. So any questions on that? We still are we're not getting all of our items, so where there's something that doesn't come in, we have to, Labat is our food service provider, so we have to depend on them to see what they have available for us. We try to submit our menus, forecasts, everything ahead of time, but some items are just not coming in, and we'll have to substitute. So there are some substitutions, not a lot like last year, but just so you know that there are some substitutions still. So every month we're doing like a monthly birthday treat for all the birthdays for the month. We'll do like an ice cream cup, or we're doing a cookie, things like that. Monthly promotions as well. For example, the National Chicken Sandwich Day is going to be November the 9th. And we're going to go ahead and have this whole little display for the students. And I hope they like this new product that we already have. So we're trying to get them ahead of time so we can have it available. So we already received, that patty. And poster stickers, we're going to put them like on these little foil, little wraps like Chick-fil-A and things like that. So hopefully the kids will enjoy that day. Smart snacks, we are selling smart snacks at all the schools, so know that all the snacks have to meet our nutritional requirements. We put all the nutritionals in a calculator that's located on Square Meals. And if it's not approved for elementary, then we can't sell them. So some, high school might have more items because it meets the requirements for them. Our Lion Cafe also opened up this month in October. We're selling coffee, smoothies, parfaits, breakfast items. We're trying to get more things in. The students really love the banana bread that we have there. So they're enjoying those items, not expensive, but just a little something that instead of the kids bringing Takis or things like that, there's baked items, things like that, available water, approved ice cream and things like that for the students because they're bringing it anyway, so they can purchase it there, and all that money goes back to them to be able to get things like this.
So the parfaits and the coffee, they're all made with low-fat and sugar-free ingredients. It's not your Starbucks ingredients.
But some kids still, they like it. It's sugar-free syrup, hazelnuts, whatever that we have there, but the students like it. So, okay, and then we also just completed National School Lunch Week. I know there was pictures on the Facebook. So we had, our theme was Peace, Love, School Lunch. We had food samples, prizes. We're, at the high school, it's my biggest challenge. I'm constantly going there because, of course, the bigger kids, the older kids, they want their food. So we noticed that a lot of kids are bringing like a meal prep from home, and we had to get them a microwave because they wanted a microwave. And that was okay because they still try to get something from the line. But we were able to have food samples as a meal prep. So we're doing like the cilantro rice, the brown rice with the meat, and then they're gonna have their veggies like sweet potato, broccoli, beans, pinto beans or black beans, and those students can go to the meal prep area or the salad bar area. Those two bars are going to be there in the salad bar. And of course we have more options on the other side of the cafeteria. And the little ones also sampled like a pizza stick, bispito, things like that we're bringing in the second semester. And the National School Breakfast we're going to celebrate next semester in March from 6th to the 10th. And that theme will be dig into school breakfast. And that's all I have. I can go on, but is there any questions? I mean, we're trying to get the kids to eat, I know. And we're also going to collaborate with, I don't know his name yet, but from the culinary arts.
Oh, Mr.
Duran, okay, so I spoke to him, I met with him, and he's gonna come in and just give us tips on, because he's more of a chef, I guess, and he can help us with seasoning and see what other vegetables we can offer the students.
I have a question. Back in, I don't know how many years ago, I remember that there was a program for some kids, I don't know if it was for like the less working students that you used to provide like food during the weekend or like on Fridays, and it wasn't bad.
It was during COVID. We were in COVID. The state gave us a waiver that we could offer the summer program, and the waiver also was to give meals for the 7 days.
And also, I mean,
but that's not available anymore.
I don't know if there's any way. I mean, I don't know the like funds and stuff like that, but I was out there a little while on the bus, taking some books to the kids. And some of the kids were not even hungry, and it was already like past 4:30. And I was just very like, oh my gosh, and these kids, sometimes they have lunch at 11. And it's already 4:30 and they haven't had anything. Is there any way the kids can have like maybe recess and provide them with maybe some crackers or something, some snacks?
We have a dinner program at all the campuses going on right now. I think the only one that doesn't have the supper is Green. But at the campuses, because we have that program for those students that are staying after school to study or whatever, any other kids can actually come in, but that's something that I want to talk to Ms. Ramos schools. How are we going to monitor that? And because yes, I want to serve more students.
And I remember that because I used to do the after school programs, and then we used to get the snacks from the cafeteria. But I'm talking about the ones that are getting home, from the bus. Like, is there any way like during school hours at 3 o'clock maybe they can also get like a snack?
And it won't be reimbursed through the program. Mm-hmm.
Is there possible with to work with community? Like I know there's St. Francis. There's about 4 churches that provide in different days besides American Legion. Every day of the week they provide food. I see the lines far. Is there any way that be able to see if we can get for those students that she's talking about that need, because they're in our community, and provide those meals? I know they can speak to each counselor in each campus in case there's not their nutrition program can do, but we need to kind of extend also be aware, hey, there's kids that are not as fortunate as others, and we need to see the community can help, reach out to the community and see if we can help, get the church to say, hey, can we get some, and maybe us as a SHAC, or have the high school students come in and do their volunteer community hours and start packing those bags, and then give them to the counselors in each campus, and they know which students need because usually I know, like, if there's students that need socks or underwear or something like that, the counselors know. They say, hey, I need so many socks, can you bring in? Or I need underwear. Can you bring in? So it goes with the same thing.
I can call some of the programs that are here in La Feria.
So it won't be so much of them.
And they'll be able to donate any type of shelf-stable item that we can pack up for the kids.
Because we used to have backpacks, right?
Yes, backpacks.
The backpacks, every weekend they would take them.
That was good, the food bank.
Yeah.
And that's actually what
Methodist has that, the Methodist Church, the Baptist Church have that. I don't know about St. Francis. But they do have like some program that allows, if you reach out to them, they'll have that food ready for you.
I know I've spoken to one of the ladies, I don't know her name, but and the organization she's in, but we used to provide them like items that were about to expire like in a week. And maybe I can call her as well to see if they can provide us items to.
Are we working with our local farmers or our agriculture department in any way to, like, if they do what's, seasonal, what they, to also promote our local, because that's healthy stuff. That's something that we should, if they plant corn, can we have a corn on a cup? I'm just saying.
I know I spoke to the Miss Stacy from Bell, but I know that what they're getting were very like limited items that is not going to, of course, feed all of our kids. We get like pounds and pounds of tomato. But maybe do something within the kids, with and I know they do, with that produce that they're growing.
Just an idea.
And with our Better Youth in Texas program, we also do provide, another coworker of mine does the gardening program, which is, they do have a Learn, Grow, and Eco for third graders. We provide everything for the garden bed, seed, soil. They do the nutrition classes with the kids. And she also has a 6-week program for adults, which she is implementing right now at Sanchez, I think. And we'll be rotating next spring to other 2 schools. But that is also available for all the elementaries or all the schools that principals would be interested in having garden beds in their campus. And we provide everything. And it goes back to the students or the community, their vegetables that they grow there.
Making sure that with the principals.
And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
I do have one other thing. Are we providing any education for like waste? I know it's good to tell them like what we're eating, what we're putting in our bodies, but also the waste of the food. Like providing that education to the kids, like eating stuff and then not finishing everything or asking for more and then they don't eat it, or where is that food going whenever we throw it away, like that kind of education. Because I know it's going to put in their minds like, what do we do with our foods? It brings in like recycling, things like that. Also kind of giving them the education of why we don't have so much chicken, right now because of what's going on. That will also put in their minds, how the food service works and all of that, like educating them if they wanted to go into that kind of business, to know the supply and demand and those kind of things, what happens with all of the waste and things like that.
One of the things that, we talked about today was talking to our principals and allowing the schools to go into a tour of the central kitchen when they're preparing or when they're, and they walk around and they see what happens with all the food that they have to buy and all the food that goes
And to waste, and we can talk to them. And
so those are there. And you're right, it gives them a little, plants a little seed, maybe I should not throw that away.
And all the campuses are offer versus serve where they don't have to take it, so maybe just educating the students about, okay, the program just requires y'all to take 3 items, but of course they can take everything if they're gonna eat it, and if not, they can leave it there, and just take what they wanna eat.
Is there an area designated for, like, let's say I'm going through the line, I grab what I want, but I'm really not, I just eat off one thing. Like, is there an area, maybe there's another kid out there that
Yes.
is there an area where I can put my stuff and maybe another kid can come in and grab the milk?
Yes, all of the schools have like a sharing cart, and it's cold, and it stays cold, so they go and put it there and the students.
We began implementing it
This year, because of COVID, we stopped, but we already had it prior, but we stopped for 2 years, but then they started it again this
And
year.
there are kids out there that wait for that card to get.
And I think
They can just grab it because they're hungry.
I agree, we take it, they take it up and they take it to the athletes because they have like continuous practice, or not just the athletes, but every PE, and they'll have it available for them to eat during the day. It's just items that can stay there.
Yeah, because my son is 5'7", he's 14, and I could just imagine orange juice this big. Well,
Or 6 ounces,
It's not.
or 4 ounces.
That's a lot. And you have all these athletes out there running track and
Or even, I remember when my older kids were in
So you find out
school,
about high school.
they would tell us, okay, you know, they were allowed, because primero, at first they would buy a snack bar, and they would, during recess, they would, you know, go to little stores, and they would pay with $1, whatever, you know. Pero luego quitaron eso, and we can take them snacks, but they send us as is, no takis, no, and that's what the kids are taking right now.
I think also educating the parents, because I know that my mother was a cafeteria lady for, I don't know, 30-some years, and back then they used to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning or be at 5 o'clock, and they used to cook from scratch.
Yes.
Versus now the state mandates, and they control everything from what you eat and what you order, because everybody's in demand. Like she said, the inflation has gone up, and so some stuff is available and some stuff is not.
They would send us a list, you know, it was like, you know, it would be like, if it was gonna be Cheetos, it kind of be like the regular Cheetos, not the Takis, not with chile, not with everything, because, I mean, these kids, they're starting to get, see, they get the plate, like last year, que they would give the plates todavía with that folded, llegaban, pero no, sacaban their Takis, their juices and everything, and the plates were just, on the trash.
Lots to talk about with
Yeah.
nutrition. Okay, Ms. Barreros.
My name is Nancy Loredo, and I'm your family community engagement coordinator. And we're doing a lot of things this year. You know, one of the things that we accomplished this year, and it was our first day today, was the English classes. We have our Jane Castillo, one of our board members, she's giving out the English classes, she's our teacher. And the classes are from 8:30 to 11:30 from Monday through Thursday, and they are here in this facility. But I'm also very proud about the nutrition classes that we're doing every Wednesday at our 3 neighborhood schools, and that's why the ladies are here. We have Ms. Nidia Garcia, and right now she's at St. Houston with a Fresh Start to a Healthy You. Do you want to go ahead and talk a little bit about that one?
Yes. Fresh Start to a Healthier You is our basic nutrition series for adults. We teach about food safety, my plate, food portions, how to balance our day with physical activity. Last week we finished our third session. We talked about saving money at the grocery store, buying our healthy food. Sometimes we can get the idea that buying or eating healthy is more expensive, but there are some ways that we can look and plan. Meal planning, couponing, looking at ways in which we can save. This week we're doing our fourth session talking about healthy snacks for kids. So we're going to go more into detail into child nutrition this coming week. We do a food recipe demonstration during the classes, so parents are also tasting a food and a nutritious and low cost recipe that they're able to take home and make their own to prepare for their families. So that is the Fresh Start to a Healthier You nutrition program for adults. Yes, Ms. Gloria Carter, she is from the Prairie View Texas A&M Cooperative Extension Program. She is implementing the Latin American Heritage at CEVAL. She is also doing certain recipes with the parents there as well. That is a 6-week nutrition program for adults. And Ms. Cristina Loredo, that this is a growing and nourishing healthy community, so this is a gardening program, 6 weeks also with parents or adults. I believe she has a smaller group of parents, but I believe they're doing container garden. If she's able to find any other school that would be interested in that program that has 6 or more parents interested, she's available to do in the whole garden beds. So we provide all the funding for that, from the garden beds, the soil, the seeds, the education that comes with that as well for adults. And then also the Learn, Grow, Eat, Go that is for the elementary school students. So she can also do a 10-week program with them as well. So those are our wellness programs that we're implementing in these three. We will be finishing up this November, and then starting in the spring, we're going to rotate. So all the parents participating in these parent sessions will actually get all three programs
At each campus.
At each campus, we're going to rotate.
Yes, we're going to be rotating, so after Christmas, she'll probably be going to Sanchez, and the lady from Sanchez will be going to Seaville, and then from Seaville, we'll be going to San Houston. Thank you, ma'am. And also on Wellness Wednesdays, we are promoting our, like Ms. Lillian Ramos was saying, this is not only for our parents and our students, but also for our staff. So we have the Wellness Wednesdays that we are promoting after school, and we are meeting at the rec center here with Ms. Duran. And we are having different classes every Wednesday. I'm going to go ahead and give you a flyer. We're already going to start, we're going to finish already for the month. On Wednesday, we'll be having Zumba with Susana, and that one will be at La Feria Nature Park. So if y'all want to join us, we'll be there at 4:45. And starting in November again, we'll start with walking at the rec center, and then we'll have a HIIT class with Chris. And after her class, will be step class with Steph, and also Zumba again with Susana. And besides that, like Ms. Ramos was saying for the staff, we also have HIIT and we have here Ms. Tanya with a little bit about that. And I'm going to go ahead and pass up some flyers so you can see what they're bringing. And I'm so excited about this, because it's so true. We also need to consider our staff, our teachers, and our paras as well. So you want to talk a little bit about what you're doing?
Yeah, so my name is Tanya Galvez-Gala, and I'm the South Texas Regional Coordinator for It's Time Texas. And we're a nonprofit state out of Austin, but we are pairing here with our Mid-Valley schools and their SHACs to start what we call a school health index plan, which is exactly what you guys are doing. Your SHAC comes together and makes a plan for your school district and how you can better. And so we're teaming up with your school district to provide this professional development. It will be November 4th from 1:30 to 3:30, and we'll be providing tools for the professionals to deal with stress and how to better manage the stress. We seem to forget about them, but they deal with a lot of stress. They're there when the teacher's not there, and we're going to give them these tools to help them better cope with it and how to apply it in the classroom and at home. We look forward to teaming up with your school district to add any other wellnesses, any other activities that you would like. We actually also have something starting in January. We call It's Time Community Challenge. It's an 8-week competition. We compete against other school districts in healthy habits. And I can come back next month and present to you about it. It's an app that you download, and on this app, you take pictures of every healthy habit you do. You drink water, you meditate, you walk your dog, and it adds up points for your school district, and you compete against other school districts like Lafayette, Los Fresnos, West Lago.
What place did we get last year?
Last year, you guys were in place. But that's a whole state. That was a whole state.
So we were
So you guys are 5th in state. So I really believe that this year, coming a little earlier, we can start planning for this. All these things you guys are doing, like walks, everybody who shows up to that walk, they could sign in and make up a click on there, and that's points for your school district. They get your whole school district, your whole community is doing a healthy habit. And these are habits that you guys are doing, to prevent diabetes, to prevent awareness. And we in the city believe that healthy children start with healthy adults.
And one of our goals is to have, like you said, what is it called, the champion?
So we have this new program that we want to experiment with you guys. We want to call them Health Champions. So we want to invite 20 staff members to be our health champions, and so they're going to lead this competition. They're going to be the ones, like the cheerleaders, they're going to be the ones leading this competition for you guys to win.
Motivating others to go walk, to do this, to do that. Everything, like with Ms. Duran, she's there at the rec center, and everything is
free. All the classes are free. All they have to do is just show up. And what else are we doing? Well, one of the things that I'm also going to be in charge of doing is it's the parent annual conference, so it's coming up in January. And one of the things that I was talking to Ms. Lilian Ramos about was to promote our special ed. You know, because I believe that we all have a learning disability. I think we all do, you know, and so I was thinking, you know what, we already did a lot about the bilingual, we did migrants, what about our special ed kids? And combining with special ed, you know, our social emotional as well, our wellness. So that would, you know, that's something that I want to bring up, you know, maybe for January. I don't know when it's going to be, sir, do you know when we're having this parent annual conference?
I believe it's in January.
Okay. So hopefully it'll get approved, you know, but I do, you know, that's my goal, you know, to promote or to bring people to talk about autism, Down syndrome, dyslexia, ADD, ADHD, any learning disability out there, but also at the same time, the wellness and, you know, the social emotional.
It's a big family event.
And this is for, you to go to this?
This is for the paraprofessionals, but I don't know, it's going to be an innovation thing that we have.
It's for paraprofessionals, but if you guys later want to offer this for parents or for SHAC members, it's something that we can work on to do this.
Ms. Ramos, piggyback writing on what Ms. Loredo said, I like that idea regarding that, getting the community and parents involved regarding awareness for, you know, special ed disability. There is a, I don't know if you guys are aware, but there is for autistic kids that are already, you know, they're high level functioning, but they lack social or speaking. I don't know if it does come up on how you go, because I'm going through that right now. There is, through the Texas Department of Public Safety, there's a form that they issue out, and parents don't know this, but it has to be a child, you know, even with Down syndrome, they know how to drive, they're independent. But there's a form there that they the parent can apply for. It's a medical form. So if the child gets stopped by an officer, if it's autistic or ADHD, and they can't speak to the officer, that the driver's license, if the child can just give the driver's license, if he's 18 or 19, and he can't speak, they will know automatically that he has those, so they won't say he's not cooperating, or there's no type of, because I know, me personally, it was one of my fears. Once he gets to that college level, once he's independent, once he can drive, and parents don't know about this, and also the license plates. There is a emblem or something that the officers can actually, you know, put out their system, pulls out that child, that person, or that individual. There's an autistic kid, or they know that they can communicate. So a lot of parents don't know that.
And I wasn't aware about that program, but I do know about the program that we have with our community, that our police officers would like to know who our children are that have some kind of disability, because if there's ever a crisis in their homes, the police officers will be able to identify and know who they are.
Yeah, because a lot of
deal with them differently.
Yeah, a lot of they get mistaken that they don't want to cooperate, they're aggressive. No, it's just that they don't know how to relate that communication. They're very self-independent, but it's just that. That's just, I think that's a good idea.
I have a nephew, this one, I mean, not just him, right, this is the reason, but I always think about him, you know, and he's already he graduated, he's in Austin, he's 19 years old, he's working at ACB, he got his driver's license, he's going to college, I mean, everything remote, and I'm so proud of him, because that, you know, when he was little, he couldn't even look at you like, you know, I mean, he couldn't even look at you, he had no social skills, none of that, and now for him to be working at HEB, I mean, that means a lot, so I always, you know, it's like, let's not forget about them. You know, we need to educate our parents as well. A lot of these parents don't know what's out there.
Or our mainstream kids, like our kids that are in the mainstream classrooms that don't understand other kids that have special needs that are in their classrooms. They want to have a friend, but some of these kids don't have one friend. They know you. It's like if I'm autistic, I know you, but I will never be able to speak to you. I can be in the same classroom, you can have a teacher, the same teacher that we're having, but I will never have a friend because I don't know how to make that friend. So So I love that class because they'll teach other, not the community only, but other students to be more, friendly.
And if it gets approved, I can have Ms. Duran here, that she's gonna talk a little bit about one of our instructors or.
As far as our program goes, like Nia said and Ms. Rose said, our program's completely free for our families. And like Tanya said, it starts in our home. So we're the best example for our children. And if we're here, to teach our kids how to live healthier, we have to start with us. And our big advantage, the city has this program put on, it's completely free.
I'm sorry, you have me.
No problem. I just want you to know too that through our program, I have a participant who is autistic, and since our program started, he was going to Zumba with his mom, and he is actually Zumba certified now. He would get up there with our Zumba instructors, and they just, I'll start crying, but yeah. And I think that's a wonderful thing. I mean, if y'all ever, it's one of my things that, now that I'm part of the school district, have this relationship with the school district, I always thought it would be cool for him to come back and maybe get that group of kids and special ed or, and do a class for them, because he can do a class. Some people don't understand that he can't move the same, but I feel sorry for those people, but I mean, just so they,
So because there's some students that they just need that push of us parents to do it, because it's like, no, you could do it, if he could do it, you could do it. I mean,
and that's exactly what my mom did. Yeah, so that's just one of the things, that's what we're there
And
for.
we're going to do that. We have an awesome special education program, and we will work with Laredo in getting some awareness out there, getting to let parents know and community members know who our children are and what they do have some skills.
If they do.
They do. So,
they're very smart kids also.
yes, they've got specific skills. Our last but not least is our counseling that I wanted to talk to you about today. And the first one is Mr. Flores will talk about the lessons and presentations.
We currently have 2 programs that we are using, or our counselors are using for social emotional learning. The elementary one is referred to as Second Step, and the secondary is using Character Strong. Both of them are very similar in which the counselors are allowed or can do lessons with them. One of the things that they're also doing is that they are sharing with the teachers an additional lesson, something different from what they covered themselves, so that the teachers can follow up with them in the classroom. So at the elementary level, they are being used, our counselor is using them weekly, Monday through Friday. And then in the secondary, they're being used during their advisory period, which is 4th period. And the teachers, whatever students are assigned to that teacher, those lessons can be used during that time. And they focus on all the social, emotional concept that the students are needing right now. Those are the lessons and the presentations that our counselors are using. We also have, I meet with our counselors, and we basically have all the different types of SHAC development that is offered to them at Region 1 for our elementary and our secondary. I follow up with them. For example, tomorrow is suicide prevention and resources and toolkits that our counselors can use to address suicide. So that's going on for our elementary tomorrow at Region 1. So we check with Region 1 to see whether the trainings are being offered for social emotional, and we're making sure that our counselors, or at least one of the counselors at the elementary and the secondary, are attending those trainings as well. That's for the lessons and the presentation.
The next one is the behavioral threat assessment. As you all know, with all this that has happened with the law but this has been going on for some time, pretty much the state of Texas has gone anonymous and said, you need to have an emergency plan for just in case. And you need to not just have it on paper, but you need to practice it. So there are a lot of components to that plan, and we just submitted a plan that was over 100 pages long. And we're going to have to resubmit something pretty soon, Mr. Flores and I. But one of the ones that we're working on, and we have Mr. Lara here, that is part of the behavioral threat assessment, is that there are kids in our school district, guys, that you wonder about them. you sometimes think like, oh, is he gonna bring a gun? Is he gonna bring a weapon? Or is he just in an emotional state of depression and doesn't know how to express themselves? So this behavioral threat assessment team will meet. So, for example, each campus will have a threat assessment team. They are trained in how to identify. So we have some students that have had such a bad weekend at home. You know, dad did this, mom is not there. It's just, and they come to school with all this baggage, and you know, and there can be suicidal, and they're threatening. They're threatening themselves and they're threatening to others. So you wonder, could this be a potential danger to our school district? Could this be our next situation, right? So what this team does is they assess, they look at the student, they look at what they can do to stop the situation beforehand and provide that intervention. They are trained. Mr. Lara, you are trained, right? To identify those characteristics, as you say, they're not a potential threat to the school district, however, they're a potential threat to themselves. So we need to intervene and provide them the therapy or provide them the services they need. This is where we reach out to outside agencies like MHMR, behavioral centers to help us so that we can address the situations. I'm not trying to scare you all, but there are situations in a high school and even junior high where there's suicide. They're cutting, they're doing drugs, they're coming home, or they're coming to school under the influence of something. So, and they're not in their right mind, so they come to school with a little bit of uncontrollable behaviors. So this team comes in and looks at the situation and says, do I need to call the PD, or can we handle it here by calling and intervening? Mr. Lara, do you have anything else that you want to say on that?
Absolutely. Thank you, ma'am. The team is designed to find connections between individual risk and staff member on campus. So it's not a punitive action. When I first attended the training a couple years ago, I was baffled by the fact that the presenter was looking for a responsible person on campus. So I said, get him in trouble, get him out of there, arrest him. But it's not about that. It's about intervening and providing or looking for somebody for that student to connect with. Yes, home life is home life. But a student can either cope in a healthy manner or continue his or her maladaptive coping mechanisms. So we are looking for intervention primarily. And we're not trying to have anybody arrested, have anybody carried away, or have them committed to a hospital. But if it needs to happen, then that's what it needs to happen. We're not a law enforcement agency, but we do have several teams or several members on the team that specialize in several things. So it's beautiful. It's beautiful to come all together. It's a collaborative effort, and it's all about keeping the school safe, and that's what it's come down to, and that's what we're going to continue to do with all fidelity and with high ethical standards.
You know, I think that, you know, in this past month, Mr. Casas has dealt with several incidents, and the team has looked at it and evaluated it and been part of it. But Mr. Lara doesn't know, but he'll be overseeing this component of the behavioral threat assessment along with Ms. Bento. Okay, so they will be working together. You know, she is our special education director, and Mr. Lara is very well versed in counseling. And so them two working together will help us create the effective behavioral threat assessment teams for each campus. So this is what we're doing. And the last one is Maggie's House Play It Safe. And it is designed to teach children how to be safe from abuse. You're going to be seeing this as you walk the campus. It is regulated by TA that we need to put out in the schools. Don't touch me, don't, you know, about sexual behavior, sexual abuse in Spanish and in English. And it has to be seen throughout, and it has to be, we're speaking the same language. So you'll be going to campuses, if you visit, you'll see posters up about child abuse and how they can contact someone. But in middle school, I know that we talked to some of the counselors, and they would like to work with our middle school children, let's see, 7 through 8, on relationships, healthy relationships, sex texting, and cyberbullying. This is what Maggie House is able to offer them, and the abuse of power. So we do have a lot of children out there that have been abused in some portion, fashion, or form. You would think, La Feria, but no, it's out there. So we would have that program available for our middle school students. And Ms. Jimenez, do you want to say anything about that, for counseling?
It's just something that was provided in case we need some type of intervention for our students. Maggie's House is willing to come in and do presentations to help our students.
And it's through video, right?
It is through videos.
Well, I can elaborate because I was the one that reached out, I worked for them. So the educator goes out to the committee, it's the 3rd through 12th. So the 3rd through 5th is different presentations, they're all age appropriate. So 3rd graders are just seeing the 3rd grade presentation, 4th and 5th are seeing their presentation. And it's lecture and video. Okay. So the 3rd grade, 3rd through 5th, it all focuses on good touch, bad touch, teaching the kids what that is. Who's a trusted adult, identifying those, going through all of that, who's at home that's a trusted adult, who's at school that's a trusted adult. Also, just showing them, it gives them a very realistic view, like I said, it is age appropriate. Let's say the 3rd grade, it's watered down, so that it's showing them what are your private parts, and it shows you anything that's covered, or the bathing suit when you go swimming. So that's going to come up. The video it's kind of like characters. So they're talking to each other, and then they say, one of the little girls she was touched by her babysitter, like how to handle that, speak up for yourself, how to advocate for yourself, things like that. And then a little boy in that video, the situation is his father, when he drinks, he hits his child. So these are all very realistic things that happen in the home, and sometimes unfortunately. And so these presentations, we give them to the kids, we talk to them, it's like 45 minutes, and then the video recaps, so whatever, just like the teachers, whatever they don't learn through lecture verbally, they see it in the video recapping, and then questions afterwards. And, usually we do get outcries, after the presentation, they'll come and ask me questions like, hey, what in this situation, this is happening, and then you try to see, like, is this happening to you? And sometimes the kids will make an outcry, so we have to report, or they don't say anything, they're asking hypothetical, so then I have to ask the counselor, please, can you pay attention to this child, check up on them again to see what's going on. The middle school, relationships, make them healthy, that teaches healthy, that you may have grown up with unhealthy behaviors in your household, but you have the power and control to change that and have healthy behaviors. So it talks about what is bad, unhealthy, and what is healthy. So teaching them about relationships. Sexting and cyberbullying is very powerful because I know you see that, parents see that, and they're like, oh my God, I want nothing to do with this, but it's happening. I mean, the kids, we get, Maggie and Monica's house, we get lots of cases where they're sending each other, those nudes and things like that, and that's what that covers. It's not anything that any child is not watching worse at home, and it's all, like I said, age appropriate. So the situation in that, we talk about what is sexting. The kids, can offer what it is. We give them, what that definition is, what cyberbullying, talking about cyberbullying, what that looks like, how that impacts each other, and then what are the impacts on that? How does that affect someone? What are the legal repercussions for sex?